Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
And welcome everyone to this week's edition of Sports Shorts presented by LaBerge Casino. Ronnie Rance alongside Joel Davis here in this summertime June edition of Sports Shorts during the crazy time where, hey, we actually had a little bit of sports this past weekend to talk about. We had a NASCAR event, which had a handful of fans in the stands, actually, down in Homestead, Florida. And I think it's like the third or fourth race in a row that they've had. Also, the PGA Tour was back, the Charles Schwab Cup at Colonial Golf Course in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They had their PGA event. Normally, that's an event that might have 5 or 6 top 25 players in the world, top 30 players in the world. They had just about all of them as folks wanted to participate. No fans at the PGA event. And I said this on Saturday, and it came to fruition. When you don't have fans, and you and I are both golfers, I'm a little better than you, that, you know, when you don't have fans in the stands, and it makes a difference when you're standing over that 6-footer, and you know that if I miss it, it's going to cost me $100,000. I got the crowd, I got TV, I got, you know, the murmur. You know, they're not pulling for me, they're pulling for the big name guy. If you're the no-name guy, if you're the bottom of the pack, the last 50% of those outside the top 50 players in the world, then it's a lot easier to play when nobody's there, right? It's just like me, you know, you and I playing. It's just our boys. You know, we're out just having a good time. There's no intimidation factor if Ronnie Rance is playing Tiger Woods and around at Greystone but if Ronnie Rance playing Tiger Woods with 30,000 people watching and a TV audience and money on the line, now all of a sudden that handshake's a lot more, right? I'm a 110 golfer versus a 98 golfer, right? Right. So I expected we would see some no names relative to people that you and I know, household names, would do well in this tournament. And that's exactly what happened. Do you know about who a Daniel Berger is?
I don't.
That's the guy who won.
Yeah, but you know, but he's really good.
Well, sure.
He's got, I think, 29 straight par or better rounds in a row, which is leader in the pack in the world right now. He's got 28 straight. Now, Tiger Woods has the record, I think, like 56 in a row. But 28 straight or 29 straight rounds, par or better, is I think like 10 rounds better than the next golfer. Right. So he's pretty consistent, and you know, he showed his consistency. But he also got that win by a no-name missing a 4-foot putt. So there you go.
You didn't know who Colin Morikawa was?
No idea.
Okay.
No,
so Colin,
he missed literally a 4-foot putt to go to the second hole in the playoff. Right. And
he literally missed the putt. I think it was even shorter than 4 feet. I think it was. Like 3 feet. It was so short. Chances are, when you play with your buddies, it's you're good. Right, you know, unless there's any kind of real
Is it inside the rubber? Is it inside the rubber?
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those, like, you know, it's good. Pick it up. Yeah. That's the kind of putt he missed. Also, you know this name, because since you're a big golf fan, and what, Kokrak?
Excuse me?
No, I mean, I swear that's.
What's the name again?
How would you say Kokrak?
I don't want to try.
Kokrak.
Okay.
Kokrak.
Okay.
Kokrak.
I don't know.
I don't know. But the point is that that's who finished in the top 3. It wasn't Bubba Watson.
Where was he?
You know, it wasn't Tiger Woods.
Where was he?
Heck, the guy who finished 4th is a household name, DeChambeau. But the point is that I know you don't, but I mean, but the point is that, like, I had a feeling that the biggest names would maybe get passed up by because there's no pressure. I mean, you know, hey, we're out here, there's no fans.
That just shows you that having you know, the skills to not let your sphincter tighten up in those moments is important. And those guys that
Berger, Morikawa, and Kokrak. I'm not sure.
And I like the first one better than the second one just because it sounds funny.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, the great players, the ones that finish at the top all the time with the cameras and with the fans and all that, shows you that the greats can handle that, right? They can thrive in that environment.
Right.
It actually makes them better and concentrate more because all eyes are on them. Whereas some guys, they tighten up, they can't do it. They perform way better when nobody's looking than they do when somebody is looking. So there you go. That's proof of it right there.
All right. Well, the PGA Tour will continue this week. They're going to keep playing, playing events with no fans. We know now that the U.S. Open is eyeballing an August 31st start in tennis. So in New York City, there's some big time players around the world that are a little concerned because, of course, back in their foreign countries, they're hearing about New York, and the Corona. So they have some concerns. But again, that's over 2 months away. So a lot of the world's going to change a lot over the next 2.5 months. Heck, it changes from day to day, week to week at this point in history. So we'll keep an eye on it. But it's at least good and interesting to see some sports starting to make their way back in. We know some soccer over in Europe's happening. We've got NASCAR. We've got
I saw
PGA.
some. What's they when they throw the sandbags?
Cornhole.
Saw a lot of that, and they had masks on. They were protecting each other. So I saw some cornhole.
You know who would be
on ESPN.
you know who would be a good cornhole player?
Buzzy?
That Cockrack, the guy that finished third in the PGA event. I think he might want to consider that.
The cornhole pro.
Right. Yeah. I think he'd get a lot of sponsors. I'm excited for you because on this show we talked a lot about the Michael Jordan documentary, the 10-part series, and you never watched.
I saw like 3 episodes.
You just never watched. I mean,
I watched
it replayed
3
continuously on ESPN.
Yeah, it's long.
10 episodes you watched.
Documentary.
But you did watch the Maguire-Sosa documentary on ESPN Sunday night.
I did.
A 2-hour documentary talking about the magical summer of 1998. Yeah. What'd you think of it, and your takeaway from it? I can't believe it's been 22 years.
I know, it's unbelievable. The number one thing that I took away from it was how, in the public's eye, how modest Sosa was during that whole process. That he gave the glory to Maguire. Like, he's the veteran.
He's the man.
He's the man.
Mark is the man.
He's number 2. I'm number 1. No, he's number 1. I'm number 2. So I just thought how modest he was.
He'd give that to his mom when he was
I know, his mom and his wife and his children. So yeah, I just thought that he was like giving it to him, saying, you know what, you're the veteran, you're in the lead. Although I did take the lead late, but you recaptured.
No, he didn't take the lead.
Yeah,
interesting.
Sosa did take the lead.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. He had 66 during the regular season. Had 66 and Maguire had 65.
He never ended a day in the lead. 45 minutes he was in the lead. And the great thing about 1998, Mark Maguire, home run champ, 70 homers, Sosa had 66. There wasn't one day that Mark Maguire went to bed where he wasn't the leader in home runs. It was only 12 days out of the whole 180 days during the season.
It was phenomenal.
Where they were tied at the end of the day. But Sammy Sosa did have the lead for 45 minutes.
But Maguire proved that he's a guy that his sphincter doesn't tighten, right? He can handle all the pressure, especially hitting 4 home runs in the final weekend, on the final 2 days to get to 70, which was incredible. I remember that like it was yesterday when that happened. And I remember him rounding first base and missing because he thought he had a double and actually went out of.
That was the 61st homer, the one that broke 62. That broke Roger Maris's number.
Like that, I remember that like it was yesterday. I don't remember the whole thing, but I do remember it just being back and forth. But I was a big fan of both of those guys.
Yeah,
it saved baseball. It did because in 1994 that was the strike year. People were not coming back to baseball like it was before the
season ended halfway through August.
They were bitter.
They didn't have a season or a postseason.
Well, and fans were bitter because they thought, hey, look at all these millionaires. They're if you calculate them all, making $1 million a year, and here you are wanting more, and you're taking the game away from us. Well, then you know what? If you can take the game, you can have it. And then until then, in 1998, that's when the fans came back in droves, right? And it was exciting. It was a time in sports history that was. I mean, when's the last time we've had something like that? Since 1998, where like literally the world is watching a sporting event, right? Obviously a Super Bowl, right? Other than that, but I mean, this went on for months,
right? All summer.
So it was a great time in sports. It was a great story. Two great guys. Obviously, during an era where they were using steroids, and Sosa apparently wasn't, because he won't admit to it, while everybody else has admitted to it. And he needs to. He needs to come clean, because I think it would. I like him. Even though he won't admit to it, you did. I mean, you're saying you did without saying you did.
You can
right?
physically look and see.
Maybe, and here's my theory on that. Maybe there's something in a contract somewhere that says that he's not bringing up, that he can't admit it, because if he does, he owes somebody $10 million. I don't know. Maybe that's somewhere in there. Why else would you be worried about it? You're 50 years old.
Hey, buddy, I'm happy.
He's
buddy.
Happy.
Hey, buddy, I'm happy.
And he's a white guy now.
Right.
And he's a white guy now.
Yeah.
By the way, much more attractive man as a black man than he was as he is
You're
a
not
white
liking the Michael Jackson?
I just think he's a better looking guy. I mean, look, I'm a straight guy, but I can see if a guy's good looking or not.
It's a cream. I like to put the cream, a night cream.
And we know what that cream is. We know what that cream is.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
No, I mean, he puts a cream to tighten the skin.
It's
an age defined. That's what he said.
I get what he said. He also
what are you referring to?
There's a cream out there, Ron, that they use in an industry that you probably look up on websites on your phone every day.
A bleaching product?
A bleaching product.
A bleaching product
that's
cream.
used in an industry that I know nothing about. That's probably on your phone right now. If you just hit Safari.
That industry.
That
no,
industry.
I don't. But
I guarantee it's on his save menu.
I totally.
You're a single guy.
I totally delete my history. What are you talking about?
Oh, constantly. Yeah, you should, because you never know who's going to pick up your phone. Yeah. But no, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's the same thing Michael Jackson used. And that's fine. Look at who cares. If he's happy, he's happy. I'm saying, he's a better looking dude as a black dude than he is a white dude. Way better looking. Would you agree?
I think the thing I took away from this documentary that was on ESPN with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa in the summer '90, I'd forgotten. It's been 22 years. It's amazing that it's been 22 years. How time has flown. But I forgot that he hit 58 home runs in '97. Okay, so going into '98, he didn't come out of nowhere like Sosa did. I mean, and by the way, Sosa didn't come out of nowhere. The guy was hitting 30 homers. He just wasn't hitting 60. But McGwire had hit 58, and so people thought, well, the next progression, he can maybe go after. So there was pressure on Mark McGwire from spring training on. The conversation about will you break Roger Maris was happening from spring training on. Sosa didn't have those conversations till the end of June when he hit 20 in June, and all of a sudden he put himself into the conversation. So he was able to play the first half of the season sort of, on his own. But McGwire was dealing with this pressure really all his career because he's always a home run hitter, but particularly in '97 and '98. And the way he handled it and it was just incredible. And
a pro.
A pro. And I can remember.
But I thought Sammy handled it great too. I mean, he was a pro.
Well, the Cubs were always my team, and I used to watch WGN growing up in the '80s. And so if I had a team, and I really didn't have a team because in Louisiana we didn't have a pro team, and I was more LSU guy, but.
You didn't like the Braves?
But the Cubs, no, I hated the Braves. The
Braves
were not my team.
Every day.
Yeah, but the Braves were never my team.
Okay.
I was a Cubs guy, and I had to make a decision: either like Dale Murphy and the terrible Braves in the '80s, or go WG and Harry Carey. Harry Carey and Steve Stone is what hooked me. I always knew that I kind of wanted to be a broadcaster, or appreciated that, and I love Steve Stone and Harry Carey. Steve Stone was a former major league pitcher who was the color guy. Harry Carey, of course, Hall of Fame broadcaster. They just made it fun, man. And I'd come home from school in the mid '80s, and they'd have those 1:30 Central Time starts, maybe a 12:30, 1:30 game. And so I'd be able to catch half the game when I got home and just became a fan. So the Cubs were my team. So naturally I was more a Sammy guy than a McGwire guy. I'll tell you a McGwire story, though. In 1989, I go to Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, the stadium that the A's and the Raiders played in. And
horrible stadium,
especially for baseball.
It looked like a prison.
Yeah, it was like
on TV. It looked
built
like
in the '60s, and it was terrible, outdated then. This was 1989. I go with a baseball team, the Scottsdale A's, who I was playing for, Connie Mack All-Star team. We were over there for a regional series. We go to like a Thursday 1:30 businessman special. Not a big crowd, and this was '89. They won the World Series that year. They had a good team, but it was like Thursday at 1:30, so it wasn't that full. And it was heat. It was August. It was hot. We're sitting there. We're probably just beyond the first base dugout, 30 rows up, just past where the backdrop fence used to be. Now the foul, the fence covers all the way to first base, third base.
Some hot shots come down that line.
But this was And Mark McGwire's at bat. And this was during Jose Canseco. He was dating Madonna at the time.
Wow.
He just got pulled over and going like 150 in a Porsche on the highway, the whole deal.
Living the life.
Canseco was the man. McGwire, though, was the guy, 87, Rookie of the Year, hit 49 homers, but Canseco was the star. And McGwire comes up to bat, and he hits a little foul ball off the end of the bat, that just lazy foul ball. And I'm just sitting there in the stands and lazy, and we're spread out. We're coronavirus, spacing, because it wasn't that
pre-Rona.
crowded. Wasn't that crowded. And all of a sudden, a foul ball's coming my way. Just an easy off the end of the bat, slow foul ball.
Something. You could see.
And all
it
of a sudden, I'm like, I stand up, and I go to catch it, and I think I'd had some food or something. I had to put it down. I stand up and I go to catch it, and and I jab at it. It hits the heel of my hand, goes straight down into the ground, and
takes out your nachos.
No, I'm fine. But there were a bunch of kids around, and they dive under the seats, and they get it before I can. Okay, and I got booed by the crowd because it's like, oh, boo. And I mean, I'm telling you, even my teammates were helping me out. They were like holding people back. I mean, it was just me and the ball, but it was quick, Coach. It was quick. And
if you had time to set down your food.
Yeah, I mean, I put the food down, and I jumped up, and I went like that, and it hit off my heel and went down.
And that explains your half a season in single A.
So how about this? This is the best part, right? This is the Jumbotron.
There's a better part than that.
They showed it on the Jumbotron.
Okay.
Me dropping the ball. 3 innings. About 2-3 innings later, I get up. I'll go get a hot dog in between during the inning, and I'm standing in line. It's 4 deep, and I'm standing in line looking at the board. All right, get a hot dog, stepping forward, and there's a parallel line right next to me with people, and there's a guy and his 10-year-old son standing in line, and the kid looks over and goes, "Dad, that's the guy who dropped the foul ball."
Yep.
Literally called me out.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how you doing?
And and I'm having this vision of a camera directly on your face, going zooming in, and you're like this.
No, it wasn't the case.
Like that meme, that kid, that meme.
You know what it was? I thought I was behind the fence. You know what I mean? Like I thought the net.
Here we go.
I kind of thought that.
I
thought the net was. I thought it was close enough to the net, and it popped up over the net.
This is pre-LASIK, though.
I wasn't prepared.
This is pre-LASIK.
It was pre-LASIK, and I did have glasses.
But you didn't have them
that I wore
on.
sometime. Probably didn't have them on, right? Because I didn't like the look.
I got to be honest with you.
It was contacts or glasses I was rocking.
I got softball tonight for the first time. Like, we're opening up softball with brass tonight, and there's
Baton Rouge Ancient Athletes Association.
So I'm super excited. I can tell at nighttime I can't see anymore. Right. You see me on the golf course, dude. I can see when you hit the ball.
You cannot see where you hit the ball.
Once it gets to about
150,
I lose it. It's gone. I don't ever see it anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be able to see so well.
Right.
So well. Well, in brass, I haven't got anything done. But like everything in here is like clear as
so you can't. You're not gonna be able to play outfield, Coach.
No, I'm playing outfield. I can see the little thing.
You think?
It's a yellow ball. It's a yellow ball, but it's real.
Maybe
real
you
blurry
should start hitting yellow
until
golf
it gets,
balls. Seriously.
No. Can't do that. Can't swing yellow. But you're not a real golfer if you play with yellow balls, dude.
I don't know. Doug Thompson used yellow yesterday.
Are you serious?
Played pretty well. Yeah, he did. It was a little strange. I said, we're going with something new here? He was like, trying it out.
I would feel like I'm putt-putt if I'm playing with a yellow
golf ball. And how about this? I played at University Club with Blair Barbier, 2-time national champion, LSU baseball, and Doug, who also won a title.
Yeah.
Good golfers, too. So Doug hits a terrible shot on the back at University Club on like 15. Horrible. He's a good golfer. If he can get off the tee, he's going to score well because sometimes he's just all over banana. Yeah. He comes outside in on the swing and the ball's big old curve. And he hits a horrible shot into some rough that's like, thigh, like calf high rough. Hard to find. You got to look right down on it. Mm-hmm. So we're about to give up. we've been over there 3-4 minutes going through the rough. They got people behind. People behind. It's time to make a decision, right?
We got to drop.
And I go, Doug, you hitting white or yellow? Because again, back nine, I didn't know if he'd switched the ball. He goes, no, I'm hitting yellow. And I go, I found it. He comes over. It wasn't his ball. It was another yellow ball. What are the chances of finding a yellow ball that wasn't his ball?
That might have been his ball from a couple rounds ago. Right, if it was that deep, it could have been there for
I actually
months.
was impressed he told the truth because he could have hit that ball and I would have never have known, right? He could have just played it.
And he still beat you.
He still beat me. But that's expected. He's an 8.5 handicap. I'm like a 14.
With a banana?
with the banana. That's how good he is on the other stuff.
Unbelievable.
Coach. All right, we'll take a break. Sports Shorts presented by LaBerge Casino. By the way, LaBerge Casino open for business 24 hours a day, 365. The place is doing well. People are having a good time back at it. They don't have every restaurant or bar open yet, but it's coming. They have 18 Steak, one of the best restaurants in the city of Baton Rouge. That one's open. PJ's Coffee Shop. You got the casino floors packed with a lot of fun and games and with spacing. You get to only play 3 people to a table at blackjack. That can be fun. So anyway, go by LaBerge, check them out. Tell them you heard it right here on Sports Shorts. We'll be back with more. Joel Davis, Ronnie Rance, right after this.
Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.
Can't get enough Sports Shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Shorts, presented by LaBerge Casino. Joel Davis, Ronnie Rance here with you. Yeah, you were mentioning during the break how, Mark McGwire hit, when we watched that documentary, he hit 70 homers, which was incredible. I mean, the record was 61, set in 1961 by Roger Maris. And that record, held for 37 years. And you thought, well, if it'd be broken, maybe it'd be 62. I mean, they just blew it out the water. Both Sosa and McGwire went 66 and then 70. And so then you thought, okay, well, I mean, McGwire hit 70. I mean, that record will stand forever.
Right.
And then Barry Bonds 3 years later, 73 home runs.
So he did. He hit 73 home runs in 2001. And I'll never forget that someone paid $2 million. $2 million, some comic company, comic that is, tries to sell resale.
The most famous collector in the world. He's out of Arizona.
Paid $2 million for the home run ball, the number 62, I believe. That
actually paid with taxes and everything and charges more like 3.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So, he's thinking that ball, I'm going to hold on to this thing for, 10 years and I'm going to get $5 million for it. So I'm curious if he still has the ball.
Right.
Or if I'm curious if he actually sold the ball again, and did he take a hit? We probably should have researched that during the break, but that's something that comes to mind. I mean, sometimes investments are so tricky, you just don't know. And Bonds either took a lot of money out of that dude's pocket, unless he moved that ball quickly, because the ball is really not that exciting.
It's Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane's a famous comic book.
Right.
He's done movies and all that. He had a great series. He spent $3 million for the 70th home run ball, but he's got a lot of other baseballs too. I mean, this guy has spent millions and millions of dollars.
But how much did he spend on the number? I think it was 61 that he paid a lot of money for too. No, it was I don't know. He paid $2 million, $3 million for one ball.
It was 2.6,
Okay.
and with the fees and all, it was at $3 million for
Right.
the 70th home run ball.
I'm curious
for
if
Mark
he still
McGwire.
has the ball. I'm sure he does. If he's got that kind of money, just hang on to it. It's probably worth $1 million now. I don't know, but who would pay that kind of money for a ball that doesn't mean really that much anymore? Although it did break a record, the most home runs in a single season ever. But 2 years later, 3 years later, Bonds beats it, and Bonds has to go down as the greatest slugger of all time. 762 home runs, 7-time All-Star, All-Pro, one of the greatest hitters in our lifetime. All-time home run record, season record. He's got it all, and for him not to be in the Hall of Fame, and to me, all these guys should be in the Hall of Fame because it is what it is, man. It was an era that they went through, the steroid era. It's a sad thing, but there were no rules against it. There was nothing saying you couldn't take it at the time, right? And believe me, there's a lot of guys in the NFL and in the Major League Baseball that have done things far worse that are in the Hall of Fame. Whether it be personally or cheating during their career. I can assure you of that. The only difference between these guys is they either got caught or they admitted to it, so we're going to punish them. I think it's ridiculous. Put them in the Hall of Fame. It was an era. It was there. It was happening. Everybody was doing it. Pitchers were doing it. You're going to tell me that Babe Ruth could stand up to Clemens? 99-mile-an-hour fastball? That dude was so fat. He's not going to hit a 99. There's no way he's hitting a 99-mile-an-hour fastball against Roger Clemens. He's too fat. You got to get in shape. I'm serious. Come on, dude.
Have you ever seen the baseballs and the equipment and the bat and
care.
all that Babe Ruth used back then?
Big fat bat.
It's all relative, Coach. I mean,
Come on, bro.
First off, you don't think for a second there weren't guys back there that threw hard.
I don't think anybody was throwing 99 miles an hour back then.
Well, you have no idea.
They didn't train it, dude.
You don't know.
They didn't train.
You don't know.
Training can change the whole landscape.
Did Bob Gibson or Sandy Koufax train the same as Roger Clemens?
No,
but nobody
that's my
denies
point.
that they threw just as hard or harder than Roger Clemens.
Training changes. Some people train when, for example, I think that if I'd have trained, I could have been maybe a college
So this
athlete.
is kind of about you, about how you didn't train and you didn't get,
I'm just
go down
saying,
that path and give it your
I'm
all.
just
So
saying.
somehow you're taking it out on Babe
I'm
Ruth.
a better 50-year-old athlete than a lot of guys that were athletes in college football. It's because I still train, right? Training changes everything.
Did you just say
Yep.
that you're
That's
a
it.
better athlete
Yeah.
at 50
Yep, than some guys.
than a lot of college athletes?
50-year-old men that were college athletes.
I see.
Right.
I see. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you know what that gets you, right?
Nothing.
Zero.
It gets
Absolutely
you-
nothing.
Well, in the 50-year-old league, it gets you a little
respect.
little swag. Yeah.
Hey, that guy's pretty good. Hey, don't let that bad hair deal.
I mean, it's kind of
fool you.
like our golf game. If I trained, I would be way better
So-
than you, and you're a college
So
athlete.
that's basically
way
what
better.
this is. You love to play the projection game. Like, if I were to give a crap, if I were to train, if I were to play more than once a week
Yeah.
or once a month, I'd be a really good golfer. I'm not, by the way. You're not a good golfer. But if I did care and if I did train, I'd really be a good golfer.
Yeah.
I'm not, but if I wanted to, I could be.
That's right.
Like, that's where we're at.
That's exactly
That's
where we're
terrible.
at.
That's so terrible.
That's exactly where we're at.
By the way, Todd McFarlane, the collector who paid $3 million for the Mark McGwire 70th, the ball that Barry Bonds hit, 73,
It didn't
and he
go for
broke
as
it
much.
3 years later. Give me a number. What do you think it went for? Paid $3 million.
1.5.
He 500,000.
See, your
Now-
boy lost some money.
And he said that, and this was
Did
an
he buy
article.
that one too?
This is in an article that Time Magazine did in 2007, prior to Barry Bonds setting the all-time home run record, breaking Hank Aaron's record. And he said that but he did say the $3 million baseball that he
was the
paid for Mark McGwire.
30 years.
He said it wasn't so. People thought he was crazy.
He is.
He said it wasn't so much about the overpaying for the ball, whether he ever gets the $3 million back, if he sells it. He said it opened a lot of doors. He said it gave me the exposure, the attention that have opened a lot of doors in business. He said because people assume, well, if he can spend $3 million for that ball, one, he's got a ton of money. He must know what he's doing. He's brought a lot of attention. He says it got me a lot of business meetings, poker games with people that, he says, by the way, he's a big-time poker player. Tom McFarland did the World Series of Poker and all that. But he said it was worth it. He wouldn't change a thing. And that was in an article that he did 10 years after the fact, when he clearly knew that the ball was a little bit tainted in value due to the steroid era, that it still was worth a lot in business.
The doors were all those doors opened between 98 and 2001. And he could care about those doors, didn't care about those doors to be opened after 2001 with the Barry Bonds ball. I think he's full of crap because he's paid that because he didn't think that another person would reach that goal for another 30 years. And it was an investment, and now he's just trying to spin it to look like not a complete idiot. And that's why somebody paid $500,000 for the Barry Bonds ball, because who knows? Next year, somebody could hit 74, and that ball's worth nothing.
What do you think, though, looking back?
I shouldn't say nothing. It's worth something.
What do you think, looking back in history, relative to,
Why does he always call me at this time every week? Every week, this guy calls me he knows I do a TV show, Ron. Every week, it's the same guy at the same time.
Because he knows he's bothering you that much.
He's getting under your skin. Funny. No, it's not under my skin. I just think it's hilarious. I just want to, here he is calling me. Unbelievable. He knows I do a show between 12 and 1, and he calls me every week between 12 and 1. It's incredible.
But if people knew Roger
we all
Harrington
know that guy.
from
we
Alexandria, then you'd know they can't help it.
So unbelievable. Last week he FaceTimed us.
Do you think that in time people are going to ease up? Like, let's just say 30 years from now, people are going to ease up on McGwire and Sosa and Clemens and Bonds and all that.
Dude, I mean, I was watching Twitter last night and just watching the comments about, dude,
people are like, get over it.
Get over Sammy. Put him in.
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Put him in the Hall of Fame. Let Sammy Sosa go back to Wrigley. Open the door to that guy. He freaking saved you. Sammy Sosa saved baseball, bro. He saved the Chicago Cubs. Mark McGwire did too. Dude, they should be calling that dude and rolling out the red carpet to Sammy Sosa. Who cares if he burned out his welcome in
2004.
Whatever year it was, right? That dude made you so much money. Call that dude up, bring him home, give him a ceremony, right? Give Sammy Sosa a ceremony. Mark McGwire already has had
yeah, he's already inducted into the St. Louis Hall of Fame.
Because he admitted it, we're going to let him on. Look, Sammy Sosa, you don't know what's in that dude's contract. He made $100-something million. There might be something in that contract somewhere. We don't know, and why would he say that, right? He's not going to bring that up. There could be something in that contract that says, if ever to be caught doing such and such drugs or blah, 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 you owe the Chicago Cubs all your money back. Of course, you don't know that that's not in the contract.
It
may not be. It may be.
The crazy thing about that era, the steroid era, as it's being called, the era that Brady Anderson hit 50 homers for the Baltimore Orioles. You don't know who Brady Anderson is. Most of you out there,
I know who Brady Anderson is.
Under 35, don't know who Brady Anderson is.
You don't think I know who Brady Anderson is?
Brady Anderson was a guy who all of a sudden showed up one day, looked like
and hit 40 home runs.
50 homers.
50. Yeah.
So, but during that era, the mid 90s,
and then
late
never
90s,
did it again.
Right. It wasn't against the rules in Major League Baseball.
Right.
There was not an agreement between the players, and it wasn't in their contract that they couldn't use performance-enhancing drugs. By the way,
although
steroids is against the law,
right?
But it wasn't there was no testing. It wasn't against the rules. So back in 1998. Androstene Dion, was in a lot of over-the-counter GNC products and things like that, and Mark McGwire literally had those tubs of his